So we were robbed. Before I get into that, I am told a lot that I'm a prepper, that living off grid automatically makes us a prepper. And I argue, no, I'm not a prepper. I'm just a guy who lives off grid, and if something bad happens, well, I might have a better chance than others of getting through it. But I'm not a prepper, because I don't go around all the time asking the question, what if? What if? I don't have what ifs. I have everything I need right here, and every day I live the what if. What if the chickens get killed by a dog? Well, tell you what, we just had that problem. We lost 9 out of 26 chickens. And you know what was really neat about it? We got through it. We still have chickens. We're still getting eggs. I mean, we lost some, but we had a good plan in place. It wasn't a what if, it was, okay, it happened. So if all of them had been killed, we had to rethink our structure, different things. The electric goes out, or there's no natural gas, or there's no heating oil, or heating oil goes up so high you can't afford it. Well, I don't have to worry about that, because it's not even a what if for me. I have firewood. I got 15 years sitting here, and it's all free. I've told you how we go and get it. We get free stuff app. You just download it out of the App Store. It's called Free Stuff. Somebody will ask me, what's the name of that app? It's called Free Stuff. So we got all our firewood free, but if something were to happen, I've counted it out. We got 30 years of firewood down here. If I had to cut it, of course I can cut it by hand. Don't need a chainsaw. And we already split by hand, so we don't even have a gas-driven splitter. Carolyn uses this manual log splitter. And we split all 15 years with this and a maul, a splitting maul. So again, we don't have to what if anything. Today I was watching some prepping channels. I watch them a lot. And there's 2 that I really watch, well, probably more than I should. I got better things to do than to watch these guys. But there's one guy out of the 2 who I think has it all figured out. I don't feel like this guy is a chest thumper. I think he tries to live the life. I think his family is on board with it. His son has a YouTube channel about prepping. But I really don't consider them preppers. I mean, yeah, they're hooked up to the grid and they have stockpiles of stuff. But he also has firewood, and he lives the life, and he goes out and he builds things and he experiments and see if it works. And then you got those preppers who sit in front of the camera. Well, today we're going to talk about how great I am. And I think they could give out a lot of bad information. As an example, I'm just going to make this as kind of a comparison. Women's self-defense courses. Now, I don't mean to be controversial, but most women's self-defense courses don't actually teach women how to defend themselves. Now, I say most. There are some that are really good, but there are others who give you that feel-good feeling. Okay, I've taken a self-defense course, now I can fight off an attacker. And most of them can't. It's just a way to make money. It's a way to make the person feel like they've got security. But when something actually happens to them, they can't defend themselves. They're fighting off a big, strong guy. Again, don't mean to sound rude or anything. It's just it's the actual facts. There are other self-defense courses who say, look, don't take those, kick them in the, what courses. Those don't work. You're going to have to learn how to distract and disarm and disable and all this. And they have a process, an actual process that is no different between a woman and a man defending themselves. So when you watch these prepper channels, you get a sense that there are 2 types of preppers. There are those who truly do think about what it is I need and how to go about it. And then there are those who are just trying to make some money off YouTube. And they're always coming up with these plans. And what if the Chinese army invades you? What are you going to do? Well, I got the plan for that one. I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to do. You're going to raise your hands up and hope for the best, because you're not going to fight the Chinese army. Unfortunately or fortunately, or however you want to look at it, when I was in the military, I liked the military. I thought they were the strongest military in the world. So I'm going to go on this belief system for a minute that I actually pay a military to kind of protect me from the Chinese army. But if I have to defend myself against Chinese army, or if I have to evade myself from the Chinese army, I don't think so. I know we all grew up watching Red Dawn, Wolverines! And we all got this sense that we were going to go out into the mountains and we were going to fight the Russians and the Cubans. And if it were actually to happen, we'd probably be like the guys in town. Look, I'm 51 years old. I really don't think me and my little, couple firearms is really going to take out the army. I know, I can do it. I got all the ammo and I'm going to have a mag. They talk about this mag. They're a group of people, a bunch of people who are about my age, old. Now I know that some people are going to say, oh, you're not old at 51. I'm a lot older than these 18-year-olds chasing me down. So let's just forget about the Chinese army. And you're going to do the best you can to survive. I watched a movie with Brad Pitt, and he was fighting the German army. I'm sure you all know what I was talking about. And the Germans come to this farmhouse, and they're looking for people. I can't use a lot of these words. I don't even want to offend anybody for even suggesting that I'm going to use these words. So they're looking for these people in this farmhouse. The farmhouse would have been left alone if they weren't hiding these people. I suspect if the army is coming, Chinese army or whatever army is coming, that they'll probably just leave me alone. I mean, it's not like I got a lot of food to feed the army. They're going to want to see if I'm hiding soldiers or anything. I'll surrender. So let's just forget about the army. They tell you to stockpile thousands of dollars of stuff. Rice and beans, medical supplies. Oh, Carolyn and I, I've told you this before, I feel like we're probably 90% self-sufficient as it is. And I don't think it would take too much more for us to be completely self-sufficient. But I'm not going to be fooled into thinking that I can think of every contingency. I cut off my arm. Oops, I cut off my arm. I'm not going to have a triage system in place to put my arm back on. And it's not like I know any doctors that are going to want to come and live on the farm. I don't see any of this happening. So why sit around worried about it? Another thing they talk about is security. You got to have security on your property. A lot of people are worried about the hordes of people that are going to come down and get you. And I've talked about this in quite a bit of depth. First of all, I live way out here in the boonies. The cities are long ways away, 200 miles or so. There's a lot of food and supplies in between the cities and here. So I don't think a lot of people are going to come this way. But somebody in the comment section will say, oh, they're going to come for your chickens. And when word gets out, everybody's going to come to get your chickens. Well, I got 17 chickens. So when the first horde of people come and steal my chickens, I don't think I got to worry about the second horde, because when word gets out, they're going to say, yeah, we took all that guy's chickens. So, no, I mean, it's ridiculous to think they're going to come and get my 17 chickens. They're going to go someplace where, a farm with cows, 200 cows sitting around. Maybe they'll take those. They're not going to want to come someplace where there is resistance. And I'm going to provide resistance. Now, I've said this in the past. I'm not going to tell you what my defense system is. But once my defense system goes off, word's going to get out. Don't go messing with that guy. So you got to think a little bit bigger and more grandiose than firearms. I'm going to go walk on the perimeter with my AK-47. You don't want to worry about your mag. I talk about this mag of, you got this army of people that you're going to govern. I live by myself, me and Carolyn, that's it. And like I said, we're 90% self-sufficient. So you got to always think about how to do it on your own. Because eventually, your mag is going to turn against you. Society turns on itself all the time. Look at how the United States is. We can't agree at all. We're 50-50. So if you think you're going to reestablish society, you're not. Greater men than us have tried, and it didn't work. So I'm not even going to presume that I'm smarter than our forefathers who gave this great experiment a try, and it didn't work. So I'm not too concerned with people coming in hordes to take my stuff, because first thing they're going to know is I'm around, and I'm going to provide resistance with my defenses. I was robbed twice in 2 weeks. Well, actually about a week. I guess it was Thursday, and then the next Thursday I was robbed again. And the only reason I was robbed is because Carolyn and I worked. We worked a lot. And they staked us out. They knew exactly what our schedule was. We left early in the morning before daylight, and we didn't get home until after dark. So I figure they came into our house about 11 o'clock a.m. and they took a good long while getting into our house. They took a good long while in our house. They didn't just bust out windows. They removed the screens and the windows. Didn't bust anything. It was very careful. They actually dumped out our change jar and spread out all the change, left the pennies, and took the silver coins. They had plenty of time. They knew exactly what our schedule was. So if I'd have been home, or my schedule had been erratic, they probably wouldn't have taken our stuff. And as soon as I put up a little bit of resistance, first time we got robbed, I immediately ordered a home security system, but it didn't arrive before the second time they robbed us. Using that scenario, if somebody comes to the house and I provide resistance, they're going to turn and run. I watch this channel, this YouTube channel, about self-defense. He makes a video every day, talks about how he defends himself. And they always talk about the fibs factor. Fudge, I'm being shot at, or something like that. Or fudge, I'm being shot. So they run. They turn around and run. Well, I suspect the same thing's going to happen. It's not going to be the zombie apocalypse where they just keep walking at you. People are going to want to find homes that are abandoned. If you're buying thousands of dollars worth of stuff, this is what this YouTuber said today. You're buying all this stuff and you're investing and you have this stockpile. And then he said, but if the Chinese come, I'm going to grab my bug out bag and go. Now he said you can't carry your ammo and you can't carry all your food because there's just too much. You can't carry it all. So you're just going to have to carry a little bit of basic stuff. Your bug out bag. It's always funny how they always come up with these terms, just like these women's self-defense courses. They come up with these terms to make it look like they're some sort of expert. So they're going to grab their $10 bug out bag and leave their thousands of stuff behind so the bad guys can come and take their stuff. And then eventually you, who invested all this money, will have to face them with your stuff. They're going to be well-fed, well-stocked in armory. So what's the reason of stockpiling if you're just going to leave at the first sign of trouble? Defend everything you got. Stick with it. I always say there's only 4 things you need: food, water, shelter, and defense. If the Chinese decide they want to overrun me, well, I'm going to sit here and fight the best I can until I'm gone. I'm not going to run, because if I run, then I'm in trouble. The bug out bag isn't going to save you. You're not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to think that I can overcome all those weird adversities. I know this place. This place is home. This place is safe. I know everything about it. And if I lose it, then I've lost. I wouldn't trust a lot of these YouTube preppers because they're just trying to sell you a story. So if you can click this up next box, take you to a video where I was telling you about they want to take our pets. So I hope I can inspire you to stay home so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.